And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jay and Toby's True Crime in the Morning. I'm your host, Jay. This wonderful, handsome lad next to me is Toby. We're here to talk about some true crime news, hang out with you guys, and just go over a few things. Had a heck of a weekend and some things that are changing over in the personal life, hopefully for the better. So that's why you guys didn't see me this weekend. So today on the show, we have quite a bit of different news, and plus we're going to go over what changes are coming in our regular life as well. But first, we have a 7-year-old girl killed and her father shot while sitting at a McDonald's drive-thru in Chicago. Fortunately, seems to be all too common over there lately, these type of events. We have a waitress at an Ohio Bob Evans restaurant that's killed in front of coworkers and customers while on shift. The alleged shooter is the ex-boyfriend of another victim named Rebecca Jean Rogers. We have a Washington woman killed and her daughter, 5 years old, injured, and the suspect is an ex of who had previously been kicked out of the house, and much, much more. We have quite a bit. Hey there, Mary. Hey, Watcher. Thanks for joining us. I know. I was just going to say, we haven't seen you in a bit. Hey, to Pookie. I don't know if Pooks is still here. Hey, Jilly. So we have Angie and also Watcher. And I believe Marissa that I put together a couple stories. I want you guys to know I've been thinking about exactly how we're going to do them. I was thinking of doing them at the tail end of these news segments. However, thinking of doing them more so the old style of how I used to do the channel, which is almost like how like a John Lorden does his or someone, you know, how most people do them, where they just kind of sit there and tell the story pre-recorded form. Thinking of doing that. Now, I used to do that years ago, except I would just use my voice. It was an extremely low budget version of it. I wouldn't be on camera, but I'm thinking of doing that now. I just have to kind of learn the ropes as to how to do it on camera. So I'm actually going to try to talk to like Angie, probably John Lorden, a couple different people and see if they have any tips for, you know, I don't know how to read 20 pages while on camera. I guess you have to read it, say something, read it, say something, and then just keep editing it all out. It's just a much, much different process than how I usually do it. So I either have to learn how to do that or hire an editor, which I can't afford to do. So maybe I can find someone who just does it for the love of the game or something. We'll see. But that's what I've been kind of working on. You like it, Watcher? Good. Yeah, plus I can put that on the main channel, so we'll get it out to thousands of people versus, you know, this show is still kind of building its audience, the one we're doing here on the second channel. So if you're not familiar with our show here, we are the sister show to the main Jason Hebert channel. He's about to fall. You okay, buddy? Oh, he was itching himself, and then he almost fell. You all right? So it's the sister show to the main Jason Hebert channel, where I interviewed the loved ones of missing persons and unsolved crimes in an effort to help spread awareness and bring justice. Now, before I continue with the little script there, the last thing I want to say is I'm really excited. I think I'm getting a job. I'm going to know probably by Wednesday. If I do get the job, it's a very, very low-key job where I'll have a lot of downtime in it. So it's going to allow me to put many hours per day into searching for families to interview. So I promise you guys, if I get that job, our main channel is going to go right back up to doing, 5-6 interviews a week. We're almost there. As long as I get this job and it has the downtime I think it does, then we're going to skyrocket back up, guys, because that's one of the reasons that, things have taken a little bit of a downturn is I just haven't had the time to find all the guests that we need. Whereas when I first started doing this, I had a lot of savings. So I just kind of sit in my butt at home, living off the savings and, looking for people all day. I was putting like 12 to 16 hours a day into the channel. And I can't afford to do that anymore. That's why the channel's taking a hit overall and everything. But I promise you guys, I found a job that if I get it, we're going to be right back where we were. You guys talking about having a good weekend? All right. So let me get back to my little script here with my man Toby. So this is an extension, this morning show, to the nighttime program, and it works a bit differently where, like I said, instead of interviewing people, we take a look at stories from a third-party perspective, like news and such, and we give our own opinions of the stories, as well as we communicate with you guys, the subscribers, in an effort to get to know you guys better through the chat. We also raise money during this morning show to support the efforts required in the nighttime show so we can find the families, research the cases, promote them, everything else that comes along with the time-intensive processes that have come to make up the nearly 125 interviews we have on that main channel. So it is a lot of work. So if you do choose to donate to help the channel out and continue to do that. First thing that you will do is see your name on screen. So we'll do stream supporters. You'll see it for the duration of the show. Give me 1 second. Right now, you're just going to see N/A since I don't think anyone has donated just yet. For 1 second is okay. So you'll see your name like this, as well as the link to do it. Just like that. See where it says N/A? That's where your name will go. And lastly, anyone who donates gets Toby Man here a treat. All right. So that's just a little fun thing we do to give a little incentive to support the channel. Everyone gets Toby a treat. He says thank you, and he does a little dance thanking you for his treats. If you donate, we do for the first 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes, and then throughout the show a little bit, we do something called the lightning round, where once we announce it, every donation gets Toby double treats, so he gets 2 each time. So that helps keep him here and hanging out with us. So once I say lightning round, if you donate, you get him 2 treats. So those are a couple things that we do here while I read the news, and we just kind of have fun. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you ever come across any suggestions you have for the channel, let me know. We'll get them in there. Sorry, give me 1 sec. My job just emailed me. I went to go check if there was any donation emails, and I saw my job. Oh, awesome. Let me just respond. Alrighty. Pumped. I am pumped, guys. I think we're going to be good. It's going to be just like the old days with so many interviews. I'm so pumped about this. That interview basically just told me I'm like 99% sure I get the job. But I'll give you guys the official yes on Wednesday. All right, so last thing I'm going to do here is pull up the main, account just in case I don't get the notification, so I can shout you guys out when you do support. Boom, 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 boom. You guys are absolutely amazing, and me and the Tobes appreciate you for sitting here hanging out with us and being supportive. Okay, and boom, we do. Whoa, okay. Yeah, we got a couple already. See? Do we not have the best people ever? The best. All right, we have so far 2 donations. First, we have from the lovely Watcher. Do you want me to say Watcher or use your name, Watcher? I don't remember if you have a preference. Oh, that's the wrong. Looks like I didn't copy. Give me a second. For now, we'll say Watcher, but we can use your main name if you would like. So we have $20 from the lovely Watcher. I believe, right? Did I get that right? Yes. And then $10 from the lovely Jilly. Jilly Beans. 2 long-time, consistent, awesome supporters. So 20 and 10. Which means Toby gets quadruple treats, right? Because double treats times 2. He will get 4 treats in just a moment. All right. So you guys are going to call me anything, just don't call me late for dinner. All right, I'll take it. All right, guys. So let's say Watcher and Jilly Beans. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So thank you so much. Like I said. Oh, what are you guys saying? What happened to Ronnie? I've been a lot of pain in my back and both legs. It seems to get. Oh my God, Ronnie! I'm so sorry you're going through that. Hopefully you have some kind of medicine for the pain or something. Or if not, you can get to a store and pick something up. So first say thank you to Watcher. Thank you, Watcher. And to Jilly. Thank you, Jilly Beans. He won't even look up at the camera because he's looking at the treats. Then again, he doesn't know there's a camera there. I wonder what he thinks this whole setup is. He thinks I just sit here and just talk a lot and feed him food. That must be what he thinks this is. All right, now from Jilly. Uno, right? Good boy. Best boy ever, guys. In just a moment, we'll get started on the news. So thank you guys so much. I got to open it as a gift. Hang on 1 second. Watcher did it as a gift. Don't blow it all in one place, it says. And then she says, here you go, Tobes. All right, and boom, to the Toaster. Thank you so much for the gift. So I think that counts, right? I don't know if I have to do anything else to open it. She doesn't care. Yeah, Wendy, aka Watcher, does it as a cool way where she sends it in gift form. I really like that. It's kind of cute. All right, guys. Hey, Annie. So yeah, I was telling them, I sent you an email to Annie. I'm going to try to talk to Angie Marie as well as maybe John Lorden. See if I can get some tips for doing the video like I told you. Doing a nice kind of old-fashioned, I guess that would be the word, style video where I really talk about the case. And we, of course, will credit you, Annie. And then when we use Watcher and Marissa's, we'll credit them. But we're going to try to get it, put it on the main channel so that it really gets the attention that it deserves. Because you and I had talked about me doing some justice to it. Because, guys, Annie has spent a lot of work behind the channel. Because of me being sick and having so much going on, I haven't really been able to put a lot of what she's done out there. But just know she has put a ton of work into the channel in the last few weeks. So she's doing a great job. Let's do some news stories, guys. We have another 10 minutes, so if any more donations come in the next 10 minutes, they will also be double treats for Tobster. So I'll check it towards the end of the 10 minutes. So if I don't get to it right away, don't worry. We always count you. So a 7-year-old girl killed and her father is shot while they're just sitting at a McDonald's drive-thru in where else but Chicago. I say where else because unfortunately, for some reason, this place seems to be having an incredible gang war, like one of the worst in the country. While their numbers don't reflect that they have the most shooting in the countries, I guess it's like a per capita thing where it's a very small area this is going on. And within this area, it's like, I think it's south side Chicago. It's like the worst in the country. It's really, really awful. So many kids are getting hurt, killed, all kinds of things. So we have to stop it. And also New York. And a lot of it is coming from music. There's a certain kind of music out there called drill music. It's a form of rap. Again, I grew up in the generation of rap and all this, so I'm familiar with all of it. Maybe more so familiar than a lot of, what I perceive my audience to would be. So you may think just rap in general might come with some kind of things like that, but it really doesn't. A lot of times rap music gets a bad rap. However, drill music is very specific, whereas rap, just to give you guys an example of why this is happening, whereas rap is very generic. They may say something generic like, I'm from the streets, and, they might mention gangs or whatever, a fight or a gun. They may say something bad like that. A lot of them say it in a very generic sense. A lot of it's like, this is the environment I'm from. This is what goes on where I am. The reason that this drill music, and again, we can't put it all on the music. I'm just saying it's a factor of it. The reason the drill music, they call it, has caused such a catastrophe in Chicago, New York, and a couple other cities is this music, what they started doing, what makes it drill music, is almost the entire song is them naming specific people. So they'll come on and they'll say their enemies' names. They'll talk about actual situations where they hurt and killed a person. You would say, why would they do that? Can't the police just listen to the music and get them in trouble? Oh, yeah, they can and they do. And they play their music. They bring the lyrics to court. They're used in court. The juries hear the rap songs. And believe it or not, they'll literally the guy will be sitting there on the stand and, a guy named, I'm going to make this name up. It's not a real name. So if anyone is named this, complete coincidence, a guy named Billy Joseph will get shot in his leg and head. And there'll be a song. It'll be, and we shot Billy Joseph in the leg and head. Ha ha, glad you're dead. It's like that specific. So that's what's happening is there's this absolute war going on because partly because of this music, and even if it's not caused by the music's reinforcing it, because you have someone that's sitting there putting music to thousands, bragging about killing your brother, and so they retaliate, and it's just back and forth, and kids are getting caught in the crossfire, and that's what's going on in Chicago. I know that's a really long explanation, but I was trying to really bring you guys in to understand what's going on. So Jaslyn Adams was nicknamed Pinky by her relatives. So that, of course, is the girl, poor young 7-year-old girl who had nothing to do with any of this. Authorities in Chicago are investigating a shooting at a McDonald's drive-thru that killed a 7-year-old girl and left her father severely injured. Let's see if it says anything, if the father was the target, if he's involved in any of this, or if maybe another car was and they had nothing to do with it. The shooting happened Sunday afternoon in the city's Homan Square neighborhood, claiming the life of Jaslyn Adams. I'm not familiar with Homan Square. But WGN-TV, give me one sec. My tongue is drying out, which happens all the time. WGN-TV in Chicago reports the little girl was known as Pinky to relatives. Officers arrived at the scene and found Jaslyn clinging to life. She was placed in a patrol car and rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Her father, Janate Adams, also sustained gunshot wounds in the shooting. He was taken to the hospital where he's listed in stable condition. Police say he will likely recover from the shooting. So relatives told the station that Jaslyn and her father would often go to McDonald's on father-daughter outings. So this doesn't sound like a bad guy, hanging out with his daughter, doing the right thing, it seems. Jaslyn was a student at Cameron Elementary School, and she loved to dance and make TikTok videos of her moves and routines. How sad. Typical 7-year-old girl. She's survived by her mother and 3 siblings, the station reports, as well as dad. I'm sure as more news comes out, we'll find out. What I want to know, I don't want to, go and make any accusations, but I will say if I do find out that he was involved, he was the intended target, and this was gang related, then I'm going to say that this guy has to take some responsibility for that, because if you're involved in these gangs and you're threatening other people and you can't be driving around with the kid next to you, but maybe he wasn't. So let's find out what it says. Are you guys familiar with Chicago and how much of a nightmare it's been over there? What do you guys? There's a horror rapper in prison for murdering a girl in his apartment, splitting her open and removing her lung. Much more graphic than that, but I don't think he's the one who done it. Oh, wow, he's framed. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's true, Watcher. There's a lot of demonic stuff going on, too. And actually, the stuff I'm talking about, the street stuff, usually in the olden days, when rap first came, the gangster stuff didn't mix with the demonic stuff at all. It was totally different. But now you see them combined. You'll see street gangster stuff, and there's demonic imagery and talk in there as well. So I don't know. I guess the devil's really getting a hold of the world, even more so than he already had. Just sad. No matter what it's from, guys, it's extremely sad. By the way, everybody asks about Navy vet a lot. I've been speaking to her, Vicky, who we interviewed, Vicky Dobb. I've spoken to her every day for the last 3-4 days. So I gave her a few days because she was going through a lot. But just so you know, everything is okay on her end. She needs some time, kind of, to herself. So that's why she hasn't been in chat and talking. Sometimes I think she is here. She just kind of, dealing with a couple anniversaries and some of the things she talked about in her interview, actually. But she's perfectly okay. She's not mad at anybody. She's not staying away, anything like that. Things are going really good. And I've just been talking to her a lot. So just so you guys know. But she's doing well. She's had a couple things happen, but she's fighting through it. Navy vet, great woman, awesome person. Okay, just like Annie and Watcher, she's one of our regulars, because she was gone for a little bit. So I checked in with her and I said, hey, is everything okay? Are you mad at me or someone, or is there? And she kind of explained to me, no, not at all. I have a lot going on and anniversaries, and she broke it all down. So she's dealing with a lot, but she's doing very good now. She's just fighting through. Well, I don't know how you say she's doing very good. She's fighting through some things, and everything's okay as far as that goes. So a waitress at an Ohio Bob Evans restaurant is killed in front of her coworkers and customers while on shift. So the alleged shooter is the ex-boyfriend of victim Rebecca Jean Rogers. I'm not sure who Rebecca Jean Rogers is. Maybe you guys are. So let me see. Police in Ohio say they have arrested the man who entered a Bob Evans restaurant Friday morning and then fatally shot a waitress. Dispatchers fielded several 911 calls about an active shooter at the Bob Evans near Route 62 in Canton at about 9:30 a.m. Officers arrived at the scene to find only one person had been attacked, Rebecca Jean Rogers. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I thought this was saying Rebecca Jean Rogers was a victim from another thing, and they're linking this to. Okay, so Rebecca Jean Rogers is who was shot this time. Okay. And the shooter is her ex-boyfriend. I get it. I read it wrong. Sorry, guys. So Rebecca Jean Rogers was the only person that was attacked in the restaurant. The 38-year-old Canton resident was working at the time of the shooting, waiting on the 12 people dining inside. Customers took cover under their tables during the shooting, according to Canton Police Chief Jack Angelo. Angelo said officers were on the scene within minutes, but that the shooter had already fled out a back door. Meanwhile, police found Rogers, the victim, in the hallway of the restaurant, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. She was rushed to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead. Unfortunately, you take multiple shots like that, it might not be looking good, I'm sad to say. Angelo said detectives quickly identified Richard James Nelson as the alleged shooter. Nelson, 54, was identified by Angelo as Rogers' ex-boyfriend. Oh, so he was quite a bit older, huh? He was, 54? What was she again? Did they say 32? Hang on. How old is she? Oh, 38. Okay, well, no, that's not too bad. A little bit of an age difference for sure. 54 and 38, 16 years. But, I mean, I've seen couples with that difference before. People are allowed to date who they want, so okay. But he was a bit older. So there was a history of domestic violence in their past, Angelo alleged. Far too often, domestic incidents lead to tragedies like this. Officers spent much of Friday searching for Nelson. At around 8:30 p.m., police tracked Nelson to East Canton, where he was detained. He's been charged with aggravated murder, but has not yet entered a plea to that charge. Information on his attorney was unavailable. But if you're experiencing domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Again, that's the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233, or go to thehotline.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages. All right. Yeah, Mary, good to see you. Mary bouncing in and out. I feel like I haven't seen you in a few shows, but hasn't been too long. How have you been? So is there anyone else that thinks it's a good or bad, whatever you think, idea for me to start doing those kind of shows? Or go back to doing them, I should say, where I write a script, read it on camera, things like that. I think that's a good idea, starting with Annie, Watcher, and Marissa's content that they've written for me. I think that would be a really good idea. I think it's because I want to do, the fact that they cared enough about my channel to do some work for it. I want to do it as much justice as I can. And I feel like that'll get it out to the most people. I'll be able to do it the best, et cetera, versus, making it the second hour in a 2-hour long live stream where there's, 20 of you watching at a time or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like that'll be a better way to do it. And I think you guys would agree. I know Watcher said she does. And I believe Annie likes the idea as well. So a Washington woman is killed and her daughter, 5 years old, is injured. And the suspect is an ex who'd been kicked out of the house. So a GoFundMe campaign for 5-year-old Lily Dewey says she's facing a long road to recovery. What a shame. Oh, look at how cute this little girl is. Let me show you guys a picture. Oh, I'm so mad. Not that it makes a difference what they look like, but how cute is this girl? Look at this little girl. Ready? Look at her. A little face, huh? And this jerk comes and does that. Oh, is that frustrating, Tobster? Isn't she adorable? What a shame. I mean, all kids are adorable, realistically, but I don't know, guys. Just makes it even a little sadder. Just a little cute girl, innocent. I guess that's what it is. She just looks completely innocent. That's why it makes it sadder. Oh, I don't know, guys. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put on screen everybody who donated. Give me 1 second. We have Annie. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got the old. I must not have copied it. Give me 1 second. We have Wendy for 20, Jill for 10. Okay. Hang on 1 second. Wendy for 20, Jill for 10. So thank you to them. Wendy for 20. Billy for 10. All right, guys. So let me copy this to make sure we have it. Everybody, so let me get them on screen so that we can thank Wendy and Jilly for their donations, Jilly Beans. If you would like to, the link is in what I just posted there in the chat. It's also in the description if you would like to join them and be a supporter of the channel. We do appreciate you guys, and it goes towards helping us put more time into the channel to find the families and do the cases and interviews. So that is the link. All right, so let's go back to this adorable little girl and her poor mother who have been shot. So a Washington state mother was stabbed to death, and her 5-year-old daughter was severely injured in an attack allegedly perpetrated by the mom's ex-boyfriend. Whoa, wait a minute. Okay. So the mom wasn't shot, she was stabbed, which is a very, very personal crime. As you guys know, it's much more vicious to sit there and stick it in, pull it out versus, pulling a trigger. Much more personal crime and violent in a lot of ways. But that leads me to wonder, well, wait a second. If you did that to the mother, what happened to the little girl? Did they also do that to her? Let's see. So Cassie Dewey, according to court filings, was found dead inside the garage of her Spokane home on April 11th. Nearby, they allegedly found Dewey's 41-year-old ex, Joshua Phillips. Okay. Court documents allege that Phillips was conscious but seemed intoxicated, possibly from inhaling the fumes that were being emitted by the 2 running cars inside the garage. Okay. So he didn't mean to end up in that state. Police also found the 35-year-old mother's daughter, Lily, whose throat had been cut. Come on. How does this happen? What was she, 5, did it say up there? 5 years old, you cut her throat. That little adorable girl. Yep, 5. Look at this. I want to show you how sick this guy is. Look at this, guys. He cut this little girl's throat. Is that not the most vicious of crimes? I can't even believe that. Makes me almost like want to cry, I swear. It's that upsetting. I think everybody should feel like that a little bit. An innocent little 5-year-old, adorable little girl. Cut her throat. Wow. I don't even want to give this guy too much attention, to be honest. But so there's a GoFundMe page that explains that while Lily remains in the hospital in stable condition, she faces a long road to recovery. They do have a GoFundMe campaign for her. I'm sure you can look it up on Google if you're interested in helping it. So police were called to Dewey's residence by her 2 older children, who returned to find the doors all locked. They used a ladder to enter the home through the window, finding the home in disarray. The 2 other children made their way to the garage and could hear a running vehicle inside. They called police after finding the doors to the garage locked. So did they find the body of their mother? Oh no, it was locked. So luckily, by the sounds of it, I don't think they had to find their little sister in that condition. What does it sound like to you guys? I hope these poor kids didn't have to see their 5-year-old little sister with her throat cut. Do you know? So when I had an awesome childhood, but there were a few years we lived in this place. It wasn't the best building or the best area. And one time there was a biker, and he meant to throw a brick in the 3rd floor window. We didn't throw it high enough, and it went through my little sister's window on the 2nd floor. It banged against the top of her crib this far. We could see where it hit the crib because there was a nick in the wood. And the glass even went over and landed on the crib. Luckily, it didn't land in her eyes or anything. But I was so mad. I'm 8 years older than my sister, and she was in the crib, so I would have been 9 or 10. But it was a Hell's Angel biker outside, and he was after the guy upstairs, nothing to do with us. But I was so angry at that. I was only 9 or 10, But I remember the fear I felt. It was a combination of anger, fear, dread, revenge I wanted, but I'm only 9 or 10, so you can't do anything. You're terrified of adults when you're that age. But I just think of how I felt just from that, from something almost happening. And then I imagine somebody finding their 5-year-old sister with their throat cut. I can't even imagine how much heightened it is, Yeah, it was a pretty rough time for those few years, guys. But that's another story. We'll do a story time or something one day. we have another donation coming in from, of course, the lovely Annie, who gives us a special message for saying Toby deserves a steak. So you know what? We'll give him double treats because that's closer to a steak than one treat anyways, right? $10 coming in from the lovely Annie. All right. As the preachers say, a different sermon for a different day. Yes, ma'am. Think back to those times and I'm like, thank God things didn't keep going down that road. And again, not that they were awful. I had, let me tell you, I had the best childhood a kid can have. So just because if I talk about one or two bad things that happened, don't take it as bad. Because I wouldn't trade my childhood for almost anybody's. Thank you, Annie. You know I love you, girl. Hey, Annie, it's me, Tobe. You know I love you, girl. Yeah, she knows it's you, buddy. She sees you every day. Literally. Not yesterday. All right, Toby, don't be a smartass. You get the point, all right? All right, guys. So thank you so much to Wendy, Julie, Beans, and Angie who donate 20, 10, and 10, respectively. We do appreciate you guys so much. If there's anybody that would like to support the channel, then that's the link. And we love and appreciate you. Alrighty. So, moving on, as they say in the kind terrier community. Keeping on, keep keeping on, as the Tobes say. So, according to court records, the two children told police their mom had broken off her relationship with Phillips just 2 days before the killing. What a surprise. Just another angry dork who has to go and hurt a woman and child because his heart is broken or whatever. Deal with it, guys and ladies, whoever. If you're thinking of going and hurting someone just because they've hurt you, broke your heart or something, don't want to be with you, you have to really reevaluate your thought process. Male or female, does not matter. You cannot do stuff like that to anybody, guys. So the older children allege to police that Phillips had texted their mother over 100 times the day before her killing. So he was harassing her. At a vigil for the mother and daughter that was attacked by hundreds. Attacked. At a vigil for the mother and daughter that was attended by hundreds, Dewey's cousin Ruby O'Neill read a statement from the family. She really wants you all to know that nothing hurts anymore and she feels free, O'Neill said of her cousin. Phillips is being held on $1.5 million bond. Thank God, because this guy does not need to be out. Slit a 5-year-old's throat. You should instantly have your throat slit or be hung. I'm sorry, you just should. He's being arrested on suspicion of second-degree murder and attempted second-degree murder. Why is that not first-degree murder? He obviously was thinking about it throughout those 100 texts a whole 24 hours before. He planned this. Then he came there and did it. That is first-degree murder if I've ever seen one. And I'm very familiar with someone who should get first-degree murder getting second. Believe me. So I don't know what that's about. Watcher says, I think of the Delphi girls because I used to play in the woods all the time. Wasn't supposed to be there, but my parents were at work, so it could have been me. Yeah, I think about that a lot too, Watcher, because me and my friends, we always rode bikes everywhere, went in woods. Like, we were everywhere we shouldn't have been. We're so lucky now that I think about it. It could have all happened anyway. And actually, you weren't here. I know you weren't, Watcher. I don't think you were, Annie, but we covered a story the other day. And I told a story about myself during the story, so I don't think either of you guys were here. But the story we read was this guy, first he tried to help a 3-year-old over the fence to bring him with him. And then when the mother said, hey, get away, he ran up and said, he was like either 73 or 83. He was an older guy. And he actually tried to buy the kid, believe it or not. He thought that they would accept $1,000 for him. But it reminded me, that almost happened to me when I was young. My aunt had me at a store called Stewart's, which is like a little local, kind of like a Kmart or Walmart kind of thing that has been gone forever now. It's been gone for 20 years, but it was popular back then. And a guy tried to buy me in there from my aunt, believe it or not. he said, look at this kid's shoulders. He's going to be big. And he tried to buy me. I don't know what the amount was, though. Hopefully I was worth more than $1,000, though. And thank God my aunt didn't need $1,000 that bad, I guess, right? I'm only kidding. Can you imagine, though? Can you imagine living your life and then finding out that you were bought and the people you've thought to be your parents are people that bought you? I agree, Annie. It's a rough justice system. Well, watch her. I like that new avatar. It looks cool. Yep, tried to buy me. Insane, right? And he was right. It did end up being a big guy. He could tell. I didn't play football, though, so he would have wasted his money. So next, an Oklahoma City bombing survivor made a promise to herself under rubble. Now she's a CEO. So this is just a cool little story. I thought about whether I should read it because, you know, it's true crime, obviously, in a sense, but it's a much older thing and just a little retrospective, I guess you'd say, kind of thing, where she's just talking about what could have happened. But on the 26th anniversary of the domestic terrorist attack that killed at least 168 people, Amy Downs opens up to people about her inspiring circle of hope. So this woman was under the rubble in the Oklahoma City bombing. Can you imagine that? I just like to look at her and just imagine it real quick. Imagine being in that explosion and then sitting there and wow, it's good for her. So when Amy Downs thinks back to her younger self, there's one message she wishes she could tell that person: you're capable of more than you think. I just kind of want to go back to when the bombing happened. So give me 1 second. Oh, so it's just talking about how she changed her life around. I guess she was unhealthy and she lost a lot of weight and got much healthier, kind of thing. Okay, so it's just, yeah, I'm not really going to read this too much, but it's just talking about how a traumatic event can really teach you to kind of live your life and appreciate what you have. Because when you come so close to losing everything, you know? So good for her. I'm not really going to read that, but I do want to say congratulations to her. That's pretty awesome. I played a little basketball and a little football in high school, but I never took it seriously, you know? So I don't know if I ever could have been good because I was like fairly athletic, you know? So maybe I could have played in college, but I don't know. Because I'm not super athletic, I don't think I could have ever made like a professional thing or been like a really good nationwide college player. I don't think. My dad's always like, you could have been Rob Gronkowski, because I'm like Tom Brady. I'm exactly Tom Brady's height, and I actually fluctuate back and forth. Sometimes I'm like Tom Brady's weight, and sometimes when I get bigger, I'm like Rob Gronkowski's size. So depending on if I was like lifting a lot of weights at the time or getting thin, you could have been Tom Brady. You could have been Rob Gronkowski. So he's convinced had I put the time in, I could have did it. He always makes fun of me because I never had any training, but he tried to take me out one day, my dad, and throw the football to me. And you know how I was a kid, so I don't know what I was doing. You know how so if I'm running, you're going to throw me the ball. You throw it in front of me so that I run to the ball in the time it's going through the air. For whatever reason, I kept saying, no, you're throwing it too far ahead. I got to run to it. And he's like, you're supposed to do that because there's somebody running behind you trying to catch you. And I'm like, I want him to throw it, like for me to be able to stop and catch it. So till this day, he makes fun of me and says, if you could have just figured that out, you would have been a millionaire football player. But you didn't know what it meant to be led by the ball. So he teases me a lot. So I don't think I had it in me to be a world-class athlete. Let's just say that. I'd die from freaking the heck out. Oh, boy. 159 pounds myself. You're good at everything else. Well, thank you. You make it. You guys are funny. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, maybe I could have been. You know what I think I could have been is a really good blocker. Because, like, anything that had to do with just, like, holding your ground, I could have been a good wrestler or blocker in football. Like, wrestling especially, because the kids would all wrestle. I would destroy almost anybody wrestling. I was really, really strong when it came to, like, holding your ground, pulling, just you and someone else throwing your body into it. I'd always win those kind of things. But like throwing a ball, stuff like that, being super athletic, jumping high, that wasn't for me. But I think wrestling, I could have did wrestling, maybe some boxing, and stuff like that. So a Texas jeweler's son and an accomplice are sentenced to 35 years in a murder for hire plot. Oh boy, let's take a look. So this guy has what I'm assuming is a wealthy dad. He owns a jewelry store. I think you got to have some money for that. Here's them. And instead of just maybe getting in the family business or who knows the situation, but instead he does a murder for hire plot. I hope it's not going to be on his dad. Let's figure it out who it was allegedly towards. So 2 suspects in the 2018 murder of a Texas jeweler were sentenced to prison on Wednesday. The slain jeweler's son is one of the 2 men convicted. I knew it. So this kid, he had a dad doing well who probably could have helped him get going in life, but instead he gets greedy and decides, let me get my friend and try to off my own father. I just don't get it, guys. What is wrong with people? I don't want to sound like an old guy and say, what's wrong with kids these days? But I'm starting to feel like that. I mean, sure, stuff like this always happens, so I don't know that it happens anymore nowadays. I think it probably doesn't, guys. It's probably just because there's the internet, we hear about it more. In the 50s or 60s, if something happened in Oklahoma and you were in Boston, you didn't hear about it. Or Texas, like this. So Nicholas Shaughnessy and Arion Smith were sentenced to 35 years in prison each in a plea deal. Both will be eligible for parole in about 20 years, the DA's office said. I don't think the kid who was the son should be eligible for parole. Probably not either of them, but I'd give the other one parole before I'm going to give the one who did it to his own dad. At least the other one was, doing it to somebody random in a sense. Not that that's a good thing, but how could you let someone out of prison that killed their own dad? Who won't they kill? I don't know. So the case against the third defendant, Johnny Leon, is still pending, the DA's office said. So hang on a second. It didn't really say there was a third defendant until now. So Ted Shaughnessy was found dead with multiple gunshot wounds in his home on March 2nd, 2018. Nicholas's parents, this is the son, Corey and Ted, were in their bedroom the night of the attack, the Austin American-Statesman reports. And the couple armed themselves when they heard someone enter their house in the middle of the night. So this poor couple hears, somebody's in the house. They gets his gun trying to defend his wife. Probably would never in a million years think that's my son downstairs getting up here ready to kill me. So we get some people in here, guys. Everybody doing other things while they're listening. It's just Annie and Watcher talking. It's quiet today. What's funny, Watcher, is you weren't here for I don't know, let's say 5 days. First couple of days were slow, but it started picking up a lot and everyone else was talking more. Like the few shows before this, there was a lot of talking. A couple of them got deleted somehow. I think the last 2 got deleted. I didn't mean to delete them. I was trying to delete other things, and I think I deleted those. But I was like, oh, well, at least people are talking all the time now. But again, now you're the only one talking again, you and Annie. So I'm like, where are all the people that were talking the last couple of shows? Sometimes it just gets so quiet in the chat. I don't know. We're going to finish up fairly soon anyways. We're already at 45 minutes. So Ted was shot dead in a hallway. Corey returned fire until she ran out of ammunition. Corey's the mother. That's a female. And she crawled into a closet to call 911. Wait, I wonder if she said my son. Did they know it was the son? So KXAN-TV reports Nicholas Shaughnessy had originally been charged with capital murder in the plot. Nicholas Shaughnessy and his wife allegedly hired 2 men. Oh, I see. The son wasn't there. What a jerk. They hired 2 men to kill his parents. Ted Shaughnessy owned a jewelry store in Austin. Nicholas Shaughnessy was the sole beneficiary of $2 million in the event of his parents' death. What a surprise. Kill my parents so I can get $2 million. Search warrants at the time of the incident said Nicholas, then 19 and living in College Station, was having financial troubles and owed his mother $30,000. There you go. Johnny Leon told detectives that Nick Shaughnessy offered him $10,000 to commit the murders. The Austin American-Statesman reports Leon's hearing is April 14th, according to Shaughnessy's attorney. So you're telling me it wasn't worth just talking to your mother, telling her, hey, I'm so sorry. Can I pay you back slow or something? Instead, you killed her, huh? Well, you know what? I hope you never get out, buddy. Let me tell you that much. I'm listening, cut it up to my doggy, says Mary. Yeah, a lot of people do that. Okay, we got 15 people in here now. Cool. So yeah, a lot of people listen while they drive or take a shower, I've heard, or just lay down. But yeah, for some reason this story really gets me. I really hope this kid never gets out. This next one really gets me too. Let me tell you. You'll hear in just a second. We get a couple more stories, guys. So probably get another 10 minutes or so before we start wrapping up. So since we're in the last 10 minutes, what happened? You'll shut up then? No, I didn't mean that, Watcher. No, that must have came out wrong. What did I say? I was just saying that typically you totally are the engine that gets the chats going, and without you, nobody talks. So I was just saying that it was pretty cool that finally people learned how to talk without you always leading it. You know what I mean? No, please do not shut up. We love it when you talk. You always lead the conversations. You're the best. I must have totally said that wrong if that's how that came out. But I'm guessing you're just teasing me. All right, guys, so we're in the final 10 minutes. So if you would like to, as you know, we always do the lightning round in the last 10 minutes where we're back to giving Toby double treats. So if you would like to get him double treats, this is the link for you to support the show. Again, it helps go towards putting more time in to find the cases, interview everybody, do all that stuff. So that's the link to do that, and it will get Toby double treats. He's like, please, God, I need some treats. So this one really gets me. A California woman is accused of carjacking a truck after killing 3 kids. What is wrong with people? You don't hear stories about women doing stuff like this a lot. So let's see what this lady's deal is. Hang on. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of the ads on screen. So Reseda, California. A California woman who allegedly killed 3 of her children and carjacked a vehicle was arrested more than 100 miles away from where her children were found dead Saturday. So she killed her own kids, hijacked a truck to get out of there, I guess. LAPD officers responded to a call of a possible death at an apartment complex on the 8,000 block of Reseda Boulevard at about 9:30 a.m. Saturday. Officers found 3 children under the age of 5 inside an apartment. Paramedics pronounced the children dead at the scene. 3 children under the age of 5. So they were 3 years old, 2 years old, and 6 months old. Can you imagine? The children's grandmother found their bodies and called 911 Saturday morning. She's never going to forget that day, huh? Imagine that scene burned into your head. You're going to remember exactly where everything and everyone was when you walked into that room. They were believed to have been stabbed, but police did not confirm their causes of death. As you guys know, I always say it, stabbings tend to be a much more personal crime. So how could you do that to your children? Your infant children, at least one infant and toddler children. How could you do it? I don't get it. You're teasing. Okay, just making sure. Treats for Toby, says Annie. So any donations go towards double treats for the Tobster. So hours later, the LAPD announced Carrillo's arrest in Tulare County and said she is the suspect in the case. Charges against her were not announced. Look at this girl. You know what's scary? She looks completely normal to me. Hang on, let me get rid of my thing right here. If I walked into a bar and this girl's sitting there, I might approach her and say hi. You know, she looks perfectly normal person. You know, or if supermarket or something, hi, how are you? I would talk to her. Looks like a perfectly normal person. How do you distinguish the type of person that would kill their children? I mean, how could you ever know? Some of them have those eyes and you're like, something's off there, but she doesn't even have that. Left eye looks a little bigger than her right one, but other than that, it looks, I don't know. But it could just be the way she's squinting too. I don't know, guys. Imagine doing that to your kids. Just insane. And why? Tell me about it, right? Korea reportedly got into an altercation on Interstate 5 before allegedly carjacking the truck and abandoning her own vehicle. So she had a car. I don't know what's going on here. What's the point? The children's father had sought custody of the kids on March 1st. So he was trying to get the kids. Why not just give him the kids? What are you doing? He requested a temporary emergency visitation order from family court on March 4th and petitioned for a mental health evaluation of Korea, according to court documents. So he knew something was up. So you know what, guys? I hope it didn't take you a really long time to get all this paperwork through, because if it did, I'm going to hold you guys responsible for this. Allegedly. But this guy's telling you something's off with this woman. I need emergency visits. I need to get over there. And look at, he was right. What are you being grumpy about? He did the... You okay? What's all over your eye? Hang on. When I'm done here, I'm going to go up and take a little nap at the toaster. It's about that time. Got a lump right here. I don't know. You okay? Good boy. All right, so I don't know why this woman left her own car, hijacked the car. She's absolutely nuts. The dad knew. He wanted his kids. Just give him the kids. You know how many women would die to have a guy? Hey, Jenny. Oh, listening after a busy day. Almost 20. In the evening. I'm not sure what time it... Oh, 2:30 you mean to say. Okay, 2:30. Wait, no, in the evening? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what time you mean. But thank you for hanging out and listening. But do you know how many women would kill for a guy to want the kids? Think of how many women are single parents with kids and they just wish that the guy had stayed there, or at least stayed to help out with the kids or something. This guy wanted the kids and she kills them instead. I can't call it, guys. I can't call it. All right, very last story. So again, if you want to donate to support, we're doing double treats, lightning round, all that fun stuff. But try to start saying your goodbyes to everybody, because we will be finished very shortly. We'll be finished by the 1 hour mark, which is about 7.5 minutes away, as we get into our very last story here. So you know what, Toby? Let's light up our final Siggy. What do you say? We'll do a half. We'll do a half one. What do you say, Toby? And we'll finish up. Let everybody start saying bye to each other. Thank you to everybody who did join us today, especially those who donated. Thank you to you guys as well. But thank you to everyone who hangs out with us, because we appreciate everybody. And today's donors were Wendy, Jilly, and Annie, of course, so far at least. So let's get into our last story. A missing wife's remains are found in a park and confirmed by dental records, and her husband's charged with murder. Whoa, let me tell you. Again, you can't tell by how somebody looks. So I don't know why I always say this when I have to preface it with that. Dang ads. But this kid sure did. I could picture this kid working at Best Buy Geek Squad way before I could picture him committing murder on his wife. But here he is. Look at, boom. So this guy's a murderer, huh? And then this poor girl looks like a nice innocent girl. That was his wife. Sure enough, yep, he's a murderer and kills his wife. You just never know by looking at somebody. If that kid ever threatened you, you'd be like, get out of here, dude. Get this dork out of here, right? Nobody, not to be mean, but you wouldn't take him as somebody that's going to kill you. Yeah, just to torture the guy, Annie. That's probably why she did, yeah. Can you imagine that? Her kids' lives weren't worth anything. It was more important to her to get back at a guy. So human remains, this is in Columbia, Missouri. Human remains found at Rockbridge State Park in Missouri on March 25th have been positively identified as Menki G, who was reported missing by her husband in 2019. So he reported her missing. He was charged with her murder in 2020. Joseph Elledge reported G missing at about 5:45 on October 10th, 2019. Columbia police said Elledge reported he last saw his wife on October 8th at about 11:30 p.m., so 2 nights before. He said when he woke up on October 9th at about 5 a.m., she was gone. While investigating, Columbia police detectives found evidence of child abuse of the couple's child. Elledge was arrested on suspicion of child abuse. Was it both of them or him that did that? I'm going to guess probably just him. Maybe he killed her for trying to defend the child or something? I don't know. Detectives learned Elledge had visited several conservation areas surrounding Boone County prior to reporting her to CPD as a missing person. Of course, he was trying to find out where to dump her body. Aerial and ground searches were conducted near Ashland Lake and the Pine Ridge Recreation Campground. Detectives tracked his movements from his cell phone and learned there was one specific location where he spent more time than at any other location, identified as De Bourgmont access of the Lamine River on Highway 41. He spent about 45 minutes at that location. Sounds about enough time to dig a little hole, I guess. Or maybe not. I've heard it's really hard to dig a hole, actually, by people who've done it. By people who've done it for construction, by the way. Especially if it's cold at all. I think it gets pretty cold in Missouri. When was this? February. Oh, no, that was when? In October. So it's going to be fairly cold, though it might not be too cold. So on February 28th, 2020, he was indicted for first-degree murder by a Boone County grand jury. Columbia police said about 1 p.m. on March 25th, 2021, Missouri State Park rangers were notified by a hiker who located possible human remains while in Rockbridge State Park. Investigators at the scene located several items and found items belonging to Menki G. The hiker in the park came across skeletal remains, clothing, a driver's license, and a credit card with the name Menki G. Elledge, the AP reports. The Boone County Medical Examiner's Office identified her by her dental records, and Elledge remains in custody at the Boone County Jail. Well, sorry, buddy. If you did that, good riddance to you. Yeah. It's cold sometimes, yeah, for sure. So, hey, that's what it sounds like. Well, they identified her remains, though, so maybe he wasn't digging. Maybe he's probably just dragging her somewhere, right? Because it doesn't, if they were found by hikers, I doubt he dug and put her anywhere. Probably because it was too cold. I'm guessing he would have if he could have, because I'm sure he wanted to hide her as best he could, but he probably figured, no one will be around here. But you know what? Hikers go everywhere. So you throw somebody in the woods or on a mountain, they can still be found. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much to everybody for hanging out with us. The Tobster wants to say thank you. And I'm going to be, like I said, I will know. You okay? I'll know in a couple days if I have that job. If I do get it, then I'll be able to start putting a lot more time while I'm at the job into finding our cases. I promise you that, because the job will have a ton of downtime. So we'll be back to our 4, 5, 6 case a night, 4, 5, 6 case a week with the main channel. So we're almost there. It's going to be awesome if I get this job. It'll give me tons of downtime to be roaming Facebook. So we're almost there, guys. And meanwhile, we'll just keep building everything like we've been. And that's it. Look at Toby just leaning over and finding somewhere to rest his head. He always finds a way. All right, guys, I love you. Thanks for hanging out. And me and Toby are going to go take a nap because he sure looks like he needs one. Yeah, I'll know for sure Wednesday or Thursday at the very latest, but I think Wednesday. So as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, we love you. Thanks for joining Jason Eber Live. We will see you later on tonight or tomorrow, depending on how it goes. All right, guys, I love you. Take care. Say bye-bye. Say bye, everybody. Got to look at the camera. There you go. Close enough. They get the point.